What's up guys, Tommy Bowyer here from Movie Rewind, and today we will be reviewing Spider-Man Far From Home. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I just want to mention before I actually start the review that this is going to be a spoiler review. I know some people do a non-spoiler review and a spoiler review, however, because of the time I don't have a lot of time because I work quite a lot, I'm only going to be doing a spoiler review, so this review will contain spoilers. Now, in terms of character development, I like how this movie keeps the character of Spider-Man fresh. Now, this is the 7th Spider-Man film, 8th if you include Into the Spider-Verse, and this movie still keeps a very fresh adaptation of Spider-Man. Instead of Uncle Ben dying, and that being the responsibility which Spider-Man wants to take on, it's more about Iron Man dying and Spider-Man believing that he has to take on the responsibilities that Iron Man had and become the next Iron Man. And I really like that idea because Spider-Man just wants to be a teenager. He wants to have a girlfriend in the form of MJ. He wants to spend time with his friends. However, he knows that he can't do that because he has the responsibility of being Spider-Man. And I really like that aspect of this story. I felt it was very complex and I felt it gave the storyline quite a lot of oomph to it, if that kind of makes sense. The development for the rest of the characters I feel is on point, especially the character development for the character of Mysterio. I was a little concerned going into this that Mysterio was going to be a wizard or something from a different universe and they were just going to kind of change him from what he originally is. However, they do a fantastic plot twist midway through where Mysterio is just basically an illusionist, a very good illusionist, and I really like that idea. I felt the characterization of Mysterio was on point and very good adaptation of the comics. So character development from me gets a 9 out of 10 because I really like the fresh take they take on the character of Spider-Man. Now, in terms of the performances, I haven't really got anything negative to say about the performances. Tom Holland is the best on-screen adaptation of Spider-Man I have ever seen. Now, I know it's controversial. A lot of people think Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are good, and I do. I think they're brilliant portrayals. However, I think Tom Holland really does understand the character and he best fits the role of not only Peter Parker, however also Spider-Man. And I really like his chemistry that he shares with Zendaya, who plays MJ in this movie. We didn't really see them a lot together in the first movie. However, in this movie, there's a lot more time dedicated to their relationship. And I really like the slow build-up, and at the end, when they finally get together, it feels earned. And I remember the audience in the cinema all seemed very happy that they finally got together. It was a really good use of build-up. Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio, as I've already mentioned, is a fantastic villain. I think he does Mysterio justice very well. Of course, I was concerned that they were going to change the character too much. However, he clearly fits the role. He is basically an illusionist, a very good illusionist. He has a lot of technology creating holograms, very realistic holograms. However, he is not a superhero, and the fact that he isn't a superhero, however, he can go toe-to-toe with Spider-Man, I thought was really well done. So in terms of performances, I'm going to give them a 10 out of 10 because I can't argue with the performances, they're all great. The effects I cannot argue with in this movie, they're all brilliant. I really enjoy the Spider-Man and Mysterio, the first fight scene they have in that illusion world. I felt they were very experimental with the effects like they were in Doctor Strange. And it brought back fun memories for me of the original Spider-Man game where halfway through you battle the really massive Mysterio and it's all illusions. I felt that was really good and I thought it had a lot of nostalgia for me in that scene. Also, I like with the effects wise that they brought back the final swing at the end of the film. Now, the first 2 Spider-Man films had the final swing, which is just Spider-Man swinging around New York at the end of the film. I love that they brought that back in this movie. It brought back some great nostalgia. And that's the thing with the effects in this film. They're a lot better than any other Spider-Man film because they have the money, because effects have improved. And I can't argue with the effects. The effects for me get a 10 out of 10 because they're the best yet. Now, in terms of the story and writing, this movie has plot twists that from the trailers I didn't expect. Now, when I saw the trailers, I thought they were going for the whole multiverse storyline thing, and I thought Mysterio was genuinely not an illusionist and was a wizard from another dimension. However, I got a very brilliant surprise when halfway through the movie it turns out that Mysterio is someone who used to work with Tony Stark on illusion tech and holograms, and Tony Stark fired him, and now he kind of wants his own back. He wants to become a superhero, which is exactly what Mysterio wants in his original comics. He wants to be a superhero and put Spider-Man in the blame. And I really enjoy what they did, because Mysterio basically says that their plan of there's elementals coming to destroy the world is ludicrous. You know, it's stupid. However, because of Thanos and everything that has happened, of course the human race is going to believe that. And I like what they did with the Mysterio character in this film. He is just an illusionist. And I thought that even though he's not a superhero, the fight scenes with Mysterio are brilliant, because it's all about mental illusions. Mysterio is not a physical threat to Spider-Man. However, he is a mental threat. He's someone that can match him mentally. I like how they brought drones into this movie to kind of facilitate the illusions. I felt that was very clever and a good modern take on the character. And as I've said, for the relationship between Spider-Man and MJ, I thought was done really well. I love how there's more time dedicated to it in the second movie. And I like how it feels natural. It never feels kind of forced down your throats that they're going to be in a relationship and you've got to get on board with that. I like how it's kind of easily progression like that. So I'm going to have to give the story and writing a 10 out of 10, because quite frankly, I think this is a really enjoyable storyline, and the best storyline in a Spider-Man film since Spider-Man 2 was released. Now, for this film's special recognition, I am going to have to say one cameo scene, and this is massive spoiler because I didn't know this was going to happen. I don't think anyone knew this was going to happen, and that is that J.K. Simmons returned briefly to the role of J. Jonah Jameson. And what can I say? He has not lost it. He was brilliant, and I had a big grin on my face, and I wanted to shout out, "Hey!" when I first saw it, because even though it was just in the post-credit scene, it was amazing. And hopefully he's going to appear in the next Spider-Man film. I mean, fingers crossed. As you know, DC hasn't really given him much to do and kind of wasted his talents. Really hope that he's back with Marvel Studios and he's going to be in the third Spider-Man film, because he's amazing. The cameo scene was amazing. And there are some actors and some characters you just can't see J. Jonah Jameson being portrayed by anyone else except J.K. Simmons. So I really hope he's going to be back in the third movie. So for J.K. Simmons returning to the role of J. Jonah Jameson, which I've wanted to see since 2007, that gets a 10 out of 10, because they did something which us Spider-Man fans have wanted to see for a long time. So in conclusion, Spider-Man Far From Home really did go above and beyond my expectations. I always thought that this movie was going to be a good movie. However, it had really strong effects, great performances, and a really interesting storyline which had plot twists which I really didn't see coming. And just for J. Jonah Jameson's cameo alone, this movie has now become my second favourite Spider-Man film, replacing the original Spider-Man to take second place. However, it's not as good as Spider-Man 2, but I don't think any Spider-Man movie is going to replace Spider-Man 2. So that is why Spider-Man Far From Home gets a well-deserved 49 out of 50, which gives it a grade 1 ranking. Honestly, a higher ranking than I thought I would give it. However, as I was planning this video, I just started to love this movie even more. And I'm always going to say it's going to be one of my favourite films of all time. So thanks for watching, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed my Spider-Man Far From Home movie review. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe in order to receive great and maybe even improved quality content in the future. And I will see you in another one. See ya!